Hello everybody and welcome to my video here on YouTube, or if you are watching on my website. I am going to make a card for you. My camera is going to stop shaking in just 1 minute. I'm going to make a card today using the Warmest Wishes bundle. So it's the stamp set and then the die. I actually don't end up using the die set on this card. And then I also used my deckled rectangle dies. I really love those. In the new mini catalog, the fall winter catalog, there's some deckled circle dies, and I love those as well. So this card coordinates with my color of the month club cards. So this year Stampin' Up! Did a big refresh with their colors, and we got several new colors. I think we got 11 total, either brand new colors or returning favorites. And I have a color of the month club where you get 2 card kits in the mail from me, and then you get a PDF, an exclusive video, and then you also get an exclusive video and the PDF instructions for 2 other cards that are made by my friend Roberta. And this month we are using Pecan Pie. That is our color of the month. And if you would like to receive the card kits in the mail, then you are going to want to place a $40 order. The order needs to be $40 before shipping and tax, and you use the host code, which I will put in the description below, and you can use that, and I will send you these card kits for free. So for this card, you will see both of the color cards at the end of the video. This card is just one that I wanted to do with these colors as well, and I started with a Pecan Pie card base. I added my white cardstock into the inside of that card, and then I flipped the card base over, and I took, I think, 1.5 inches off that card, the front of that card. So it'll be sort of like a fun fold card. It's gonna peek through to the inside, and I'm gonna do some coloring. The next thing I did is I took a deckled die, and I'm running this through my embossing machine. This is my Big Shot, and it's going to cut the die. I'm using some retired designer paper because for the cards, for the card kits this month, I used Just Jade. It pairs really well with Pecan Pie, but that is a retired color. I just happen to love it, and I've kept my items from Just Jade, so that's what I used. And then this yellow, which I cannot remember the name of this yellow, but it is the retired color as well. So I'm going to take the flowers from the stamp set, and then I'm going to take the Pecan Pie ink, and we're going to do a monochromatic look. So at first I was just going to do the corners. So I was going to stamp in each of the corners, and that was going to be all I was going to do. I love this flower stamp. It is so pretty, and there wasn't a lot of it showing, and so I thought, well, I'm going to do it all over. Like, I'll make it an entire border. I started to get a little nervous because, you know, when you do too much, it's like you add a little bit more creamer to your coffee, and then you're like, oh, well, that was too much. So then you have to have a little bit more coffee, right? And then before you know it, you've drank the whole pot of coffee. Does that happen to anybody else, or maybe just me? So I was getting a little nervous that that's the road we were going down, like it was getting to be too much. But I'm going to fill this in. It ends up working out totally fine, and I like the way it looks. It ends up being like a little bit of its own pattern, or like you can create your own like designer paper by stamping like this. I wiped up my mat because when I do this, oftentimes what will happen is I forget that the ink has gone on my mat, and then I get ink everywhere, like on the back of my card or the back of my hand. So I just put a piece of paper down because I didn't want to get my card wet. So I just used a piece of cardstock to dry that up a little bit. So then I have that deckled rectangle piece, and then I thought about doing the border that I just had on my desk, but you see I just toss it away because it doesn't work. I'm like, no, it's too much. So I'm gonna add this, and that's gonna be the front of the card where I'm going to put this image right here. So I have that white piece of cardstock inside my card. I'm going to stamp the corners so that I can color. And I'm not positive. Oh, I know what's happening. Okay, so I want to color with my blends, but I need to stamp in Memento ink. So that, thank goodness I realized, because I stopped and I looked at it and I was like, that's not going to work. So I'm going to get my Memento ink, and then I'm just drying off my stamp here. And I've done this before with like red ink and or purple ink, and then it totally looks like a bruise. And my husband is like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to your hand?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just dried my stamp off. It's totally fine." So I just dried it so that it wouldn't be wet when I dipped it in the ink. And then I'm using Memento ink because it is you can use that with your alcohol markers, so you can use that with Copics or your blends. It will work. So I want to be able to color those images, and so I need that ink to be safe for that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue on one side because this is going to hang over, so you don't want to add adhesive to the entire piece. So I am going to color those two flowers. I'm going to speed through that and play a little bit of music so that you can hang out and watch that. And then as soon as I'm done coloring those images, I will come back and we will finish up this card. All right, so now that I've done the coloring, and you saw I colored those leaves that brown color, and it ends up working out. I wasn't sure what color to color them because I had the Just Jade. The flowers were already a green color. And I know some of you are crying a little bit inside. If Nicole is watching, who joins our paper party, she hates it when I cut stamps and it gives her some anxiety. But I wanted to do something fun with this sentiment, and I really wasn't sure it was going to work or that I would like it, but I knew that I wanted to try it. So I cut the stamp apart so that each word was its own stamp, and then I added it to all my blocks. I'm going to rub these on my hand just to get the oils off the surface of that stamp because it's a brand new stamp. I want the ink to soak into that stamp set. And so I'm going to do that on my hand, and then I'm going to grab Just Jade so it's going to coordinate. So, or no, I'm going to grab this yellow, which we almost saw the color for it, but I don't know what color it was. It's a yellow. And I'm going to stamp each one of these words wonky. So I wanted them to like just kind of be wonky on this circle. Okay, so I'm going to use Just Jade and the yellow, and we're going to alternate the words. And you're going to see that I just do this one after another and I turn it wonky, which is not like me. This is not, I don't do well with like wonky things, but I really kind of love the way it came out, and it was just something a little bit different. So I stamped the thermos image onto some designer paper, and then I fussy cut it so I could cut it really close to the edge of the image. And then I took a black writer marker and I ran it along the edge so that none of the color of the designer paper was showing on the edge, and that just made it a little bit more, it just made it look a little bit cleaner. So I got a little bit of ink on the top of that H. I think it was from where the stamp was cut. I used my sand eraser to go ahead and sand some of that off. I usually keep a little mini whiteout like roller in my office so that I can use whiteout if that happens. I think I must have ran out because I couldn't find it, so it was fine. It's not perfect, but I don't think we need it to be perfect. So I'm going to add. Oh, so here is where this is what I did. I ran this on the edge. Now I stamped it in the pecan pie, and then I took that writer marker and I ran it along the edge just so that it gives it a cleaner look. And then I also wanted a little bit of separation, so I used that writer marker to fill in the very bottom of that thermos. And you can die cut it. There's a die cut to die cut it, but I just decided to fussy cut it because it was easier to get it really close to the edge of the stamping. I didn't want a border around it. I'm going to attach that to the circle. This is just a stitched circle that I had in my stash. And then I'm going to pull some Nuvo glitter dots out. I'm going to pull them out, and here this gets a little bit of a mess. I think I end up making a little bit of a mess. My Nuvo drops sit in a drawer, and all the glitter went to the bottom of the Nuvo drops. And yeah, I think I'm going to end up like making a mess. I try to shake it up, and you can just see it's like the glitter has separated. So off camera, I'm just going to shake that up and stir it up. And then you can see that once I got that mixed up again, I'm going to add that to the top of this thermos. And then I'm also going to add it into the middle of the floral pattern. I did that on my Color Club cards, and I just liked the way that looked. And I just am trying to use up my stash. I have so many things. Don't we all like have so many of the things? And a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I went through a phase where I was buying all these Nuvo drops. I have them in so many colors, and then I forget to use them. So it's kind of like pattern paper. I'm going through a stage in life, in my crafty life, where I just want to use the things that I have and dig into the things that I have. You can get these Nuvo drops on Amazon. I get mine at Simon Says. Stamps.com. You can also get them on scrapbook.com. I'm using some of these copper ones to go over the leaves, which ended up looking really good. I was kind of regretting coloring those leaves brown, but adding the copper over it just really made it pop. I really loved the way it came out. So at the end of the video here, you're going to see my 2 Color Club cards for this month. Again, if you would like to get these kits in the mail and receive the exclusive video for the other 2 cards, along with the cards Roberta created with the PDF with all the measurements, all you have to do is place an order of $40 or more before shipping and tax, and I will send you the kits in the mail. And that is a fun way to get to make some cards and get all the pieces that you need. You would need the stamp set if you want to make them exactly how I've created them, but you may have the stamp set already, or you may have another one that would work. It's really just about getting to know these colors and being able to play with the new colors. We really love the color refresh this year from Stampin' Up, and so it's been fun to get to know these colors. So here are the other 2 cards that I created, a little bit of embossing and inking, and I really love the way that those turned out. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. On the screen here are 2 other videos that you can check out that I have put together. I have so much content coming out for you this month. I have more videos coming out later this week. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would love that, and I will catch you in my very next video later this week. Have a great day, everyone.